Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the series. We're in Mark chapter 15, where Jesus has been handed over to the Romans. In verse 15, it says that Pilate had Jesus flogged and he handed him over to be crucified. And part of this flogging included the Roman soldiers coming to Jesus and, in a form of mockery, fashioning a crown of thorns together and placing it on his head. They had heard that he had been referred to as the King of the Jews, so they were having a field day with this. They made for him a crown of thorns and they mocked him and said, "Hail, King of the Jews." They were punching him and pushing him and just basically publicly humiliating him. Here's the thing, what they were doing unknowingly had a great significance to it. Back in Genesis chapter 3, when sin first entered the world, we read of the consequences of that as God pronounces his judgment upon the first men and women who ushered sin into our human condition. This is part of the curse that came through that. God said, "Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat of it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you." This notion of thorns and thistles was a direct consequence of the curse on the land, on humankind, on the human condition as sin entered the world. And here we have Jesus going to the cross as a man, as the Son of God, and upon his head is being placed this crown of thorns, this crown of the curse. Jesus' very head came under the curse, and what was meant as derision on the part of these Roman guards would become for you and I a very symbol of the way in which we would be set free from the curse of sin. Then they made him carry his own cross through the streets of Jerusalem. Jesus had to drag it. In fact, it says that he was so weakened from the flogging that he needed help. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, was made to carry the cross for Jesus. And when they got out to the place of the skull, Golgotha, this place where they would crucify Jesus, that he had two robbers, one on either side of him. The three of them were being crucified at the same time. But again here, even in this instrument of death, the cross itself, or being hung on a tree, which was a curse. Cursed is anyone who hangs on the tree, is said in the law back in Deuteronomy. And Paul the Apostle would echo those words in Galatians chapter 3. Cursed is anyone who hangs on a tree. And here is Jesus hanging on a tree, hanging on a cross for you and for me. He is willingly placing himself under the curse that was intended for us so that we may be set free. He was the one who was undergoing this flogging, this torture, this death. He was doing it so that we wouldn't have to. This King, Jesus, the King of the Jews, who was ridiculed, who was handed over, who was silent before his accusers, willingly went to the cross, willingly wore that crown of thorns, and willingly died, breathed his last breath for you and me. He died for us. He died under the curse so you and I wouldn't have to. This is Jesus, the King, the upside down King, from an upside down kingdom, the perfect man who takes on the imperfections of this world, the man who is in perfect relationship with God, who willingly receives the curse intended for mankind so that the very ones who are crucifying him might be set free. And the very instruments that are being used for cursing and for mockery for his death, Jesus turns it upside down. He turns it around and brings about blessing through it.